Hello and welcome to another update on my N-gauge layout. I'm going to just show things in a few stages, so we'll start with this. I wanted to show how we kind of rough and ready model. So this is the underside obviously of my hill, and it's been made from two different thicknesses of foam board, some old stuff I had lying around. I've got some chunks of corrugated cardboard I've had there and a bit of foam board to make one of the central supports. I've used sheets of rolled corrugated cardboard in a couple of places to do the walls. But I wanted to show how we don't get too bogged down trying to do it all neat and tidy. It's not going to be seen. It's going to be plenty strong enough. After all, it's only going to have a bit of foam board and some scenery on the top. And obviously the next thing then will be to paint various walls and to put some ballast to the sides of the track just to hide the white. I am going to leave the two gaps at the back so that if I do get a derailment, at least on that line, I can get my hand in there and fix it. And it also shows how we've run the wires in the tunnels so you won't actually see them, and they're all glued in as well. The Kato are nice because obviously once they're clipped in they're held, so I haven't got to worry about problems with that. And there we go, that's that stage, and then we'll show you what we did next. So here we go then, this is the next stage. So what I've done is I've painted the walls just cheap poster paint brown because it's the dark colour I had lying around, and that's what we do. I put a little bit of ballast in, again some cheap ballast I've mixed up from various sources. I don't want to spray all the track and get glue and everything, so I put the PVA down first and then put the ballast on top of that. And then all we're going to do simply is use PVA glue, and we're going to glue the lid on, and we'll put some books on it for weight and things. So that's relatively straightforward, and that's the next stage. So another little job then we're going to do, I got these very cheaply on eBay, a couple of £1 each. They're very basic, but painted up they'll do exactly the kind of rural but generic buildings, nice little church. So we'll redo the roofs and the walls and get them looking quite different. So at some point, possibly in this video or a later one, you'll see them all painted up. So quite a few bits gone on since the last bit of this video. So Doug 3D printed me some platforms, which will go on the website fairly soon. So I've painted them up, just used a fine liner to pick out the gaps in the slabs. We've got now a little bit of the ballast down between the tracks, and I'm using the lighter colour this time. I've also spent a really happy evening using this stuff, which you've seen us use before, which is the black foam that the 3D printer's coming, and it's much easier to work than polystyrene. You can basically run a Stanley knife through it, or cut it with scissors. And it's almost like sculpting. I've had my comments in a recent video about being an artist. This is almost like sculpting because you really can shape it. And if you need a little bit added, you can add it and you can take a bit off. So I've done quite a bit of that. This will be the stone tunnel mouth. And then I've also begun to use this, which is just quick drying ready mix filler. Other brands are available, but you only need, this is about, I don't know, £3 a tube, and you can pay £10 for the high builder's stuff. You just need cheap stuff. Poundland stuff is fine. Rather than grey like last time, I'm going to use this colour because that's tonally similar to this stone, and I know from doing the industrial layout that rock stone always need to be grey. It's pale because obviously we're going to black wash it, and that makes it much darker. But a lot of this is going to be grass, so this will be grass through there, that's going to be grass, and the bit at the front that's painted brown will be grass. Blending into the rock under the bridge, probably a mixture around the back. I've got a few new buildings, they come on eBay cheap, funny little church and a couple of houses. Not entirely sure, but they're closer to what I want than some I've seen, and they only cost me a couple of £1 each. So this is going to be a little village. We're probably going to do some kind of waterfall down, pond, lake, roads. I've repainted a little bungalow, potentially as a little halt station up there. And I might have an idea to do a castle. The idea being that I'll put the castle on the front of the hill and kind of hide the hill a bit with a castle. But I don't know, especially as the viaduct's taken me so long. Another little thing, a little don't do. When I finished this earlier, I'd got some fairly big bits of dried filler had dropped on there. And without thinking, I blew them away. And of course, blew them straight into the tunnel, where I'm going to have the devil's job cleaning it out when we want to run trains. So there you go, that was a bit of a faux pas, a little bit of a blooper. And I have got a nice little canopy that came off another station I had, which is probably going to go there. So it's been quite fun over the last couple of days, actually getting some building done. And I think you can begin to see how the track will blend into the landscape rather than looking like it's sat on it, which is the idea of doing lots of different levels, because this will be on a higher level, for instance. So hopefully I'll get a bit more done next week and we can do an update. I'm still pretty busy with some other projects and tasks that people know I do. But we'll see what we can get done. And I'm really beginning to enjoy it. I have actually stopped running trains for a little while, so I can actually build something, if only because at the moment you can't get Pico chassis to build new wagons. But we will do, because I wanted the modern N-gauge vehicles that Rev will do, but somebody stitched me up on eBay and didn't supply them once I paid for it. But I did manage to get the American ones, which is quite nice, because I'm going to use the trucks in the layout and then the M4s and the M8s on flat wagons. And I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, but these are absolutely gorgeous little N-gauge T6 Texan Harvard trainers. So I might see if I can have one of those flying over the layout when I'm done. Not in American markings, obviously, because this is somewhere in Europe. Is the idea. So lots of freelance going on, lots of building, and I'm really enjoying it, finding it very therapeutic. I hope you're all keeping well, and we'll have another update out next week.